Ben McCollum and the Iowa Hawkeyes successful in Bloomington, a 74-57 victory over the Indiana Hoosiers, the best win of the season to date for Iowa and the new generation of Hawkeye men's basketball. I'm Corey Bradley, your host, talking with you on this Saturday, 17th day of January, and perhaps this team turning a corner, breaking a losing streak, and moving to 3-4 on the year as they approach a home swing. What a difference one win can make, right? In a situation like this on the road, you lose, you're 2-5 heading back home, kind of up against the wall. You probably got to get close to 500 to make the tourney. And instead, they are close to 500 right now with a chance to go into a very favorable stretch now, feeling good with a chance to build on the progress. And this game wasn't even close. Iowa controlling the game from start to finish, finishing strong behind a phenomenal performance from their star player, Bennett Sturtz, and a phenomenal performance from our player of the game, Tavion Banks, with 26 points, 8 of 12 from the field, 9 of 9 from the line, 8 rebounds. Now, you could have gone one of two ways. You either go with Banks or you go with Sturtz. Both guys were phenomenal, and these two guys combined from the line, this is an amazing stat, 19 of 20. Those two guys from the free throw line. Iowa controlled the game and control for the first time in Big Ten play. They really controlled physicality. They played to their suitness, and there was no. I didn't ever feel like they gave the officials an opportunity in a place where I think traditionally Hoosier basketball players typically get the nod officiating wise. They get the 50-50 calls. Iowa never allowed that to affect things today. I thought early in that second half, things could have gone haywire. It got down to 4 or 5 points, and then Iowa came right back with some big shots, and it really started on the defensive end tonight, establishing themselves early and controlling the glass. After a couple of early offensive rebounds for the Hoosiers, Iowa really limited the rest of the way. And a big part of that was the 8 rebounds from Tavion Banks. And I'm looking at the final stats as I talk. For the game, Iowa finished with 28 rebounds. And I'm just going to quickly compare that to Indiana's total. Indiana finished with 27, so you're +1 on the road. You'll take that, and Iowa shot the ball. Let's see, for the game, the Hawks shooting 50% from the field. Obviously, a number you will accept, especially away from home, compared to just 39% shooting for the Hoosiers. And foul shots, we brought that up already. Foul shots have been a storyline, not just for the men, but also for the women this year. Both teams seem to be rounding the corner there. Again, I don't want to overreact to one game, but Iowa has started to shoot the foul shots a lot better. Sturtz was in a bit of a funk there for a while. Banks was in a bit of a funk there for a while, and those two guys led the charge. I don't want to overreact to this because it is one game, and almost all the free throws came from 2 players that just played phenomenally well. This wasn't the best day for Alvaro Forgueras, was not the best day for Isaiah Howard. I still think he's dealing with some illness. We still didn't see Brendan Hazen. I thought Cam Manuel, he just continues to be steady Eddie. He's not a mistake guy. He plays really good defense. He can play perimeter defense. I thought when he gets pulled out on a mismatch, he's not some big liability. And that's really what you want out of your 5. And it helps when you're not, 7-1, 7-2, probably a little bit easier to move laterally, but he's really good and finishes around the rim, but doesn't force anything. So he was just terrific. And the only reason Indiana was even in this game was because of Tatum Connerway, who just continued to get straight line drives going right in that first half. Ben McCollum took a timeout or two, yanked Alvaro Forgueras at one point because of, I think, defensive reasons. And Iowa tried some different things, tried to run him, tried to hedge strong on him, force the ball out of his hands. Usually in a situation like that, it's going to be successful. A guy like Connerway, who's really quick, can round that corner and sometimes make things difficult. But Iowa did adjust. And then he went down with an ankle injury in that second half, and that hurt them. Connerway and Enright both dealt with serious foul trouble. They finished with 4 fouls apiece. Trent Sisley also finished with 4 fouls. Foul problems were certainly a storyline today. 18 personal fouls called against the home team. Iowa called for just 14. So, again, to win that battle with the way Iowa's been losing that battle during Big Ten play, and to do it in Assembly Hall, obviously really big for 2 teams that really needed victories today. Both teams, Indiana's still in a good position to make the tournament, as is Iowa, but this is obviously this was a big game for a number of reasons based on where it was in the schedule, etc. So we are here to talk for the next hour or so about this game. Coach Close is not with us. He continues his hiatus and his escapades down in the state of South Carolina. So I think Gary's out on the golf course today. He may give us a call. You know how Gary is. I should have invited Jess on today. I didn't even think about it. I don't know if he's probably calling a game somewhere today. But anyways, we're here to take your calls, take your comments. The phone line is open, 515-635-1601. 515-635-1601. If you got a comment or a question, but a really good day, goes without saying, really good day for your Hawkeyes. We'll go to our first caller of the day. We've got Jace on the line. Jace, thanks.
How's it going, Corey?
It's going good. How are you?
Great, because we won a road game.
Won a road game and against a good team.
That team's really good. Wilkerson and DeVries combined for 16 points on 5 of 19 shooting. And to open the game, Sturtz was guarding Wilkerson. I'm like, whoa. With the foul trouble. And then I was like, before the game, I was like, Enright, Sturtz, Combs, Wilkerson, Banks, DeVries, and Ben pretty much did the exact opposite. And Banks played really good, but you were talking about it after the Purdue game about defensively. He got stops on Conaway or whatever, but it wasn't his best either. He was beating him off the dribble too. But yeah, like you said, Alvaro wasn't helping either. He got yanked.
Yeah, I think that I think Isaiah Howard is still not healthy.
Yeah, and
minutes wise, he's not. I know he came in there at the end, which was a little bit of a surprise. Why bring him in if he's not fully healthy? But yeah, I mean, what did he finish with on the day? Isaiah Howard finished with 3 points in 9 minutes. So I can't imagine that his minutes are just being taken away from him. I have not seen anything during a game that would give me indication that Ben McCollum has lost trust or confidence in Isaiah Howard. And this team has been dealing with the flu. So that doesn't help you when you have a guy like Connerway. Now, he did drive by Howard a time or two, but Connerway's got that straight line speed and quickness. So no, I mean, Alvaro didn't play great. If they get this proved today, if you don't need everybody offensively. You just need guys to batten down the hatchets on the defensive end. You need one secondary scorer to Bennett Sturtz. If Sturtz plays this well and he's 7 of 13, goes to the foul line 11 times and stays out of foul trouble himself, this team can beat a lot of teams. The problem with Sturtz to this point in Big Ten play has been he hasn't been able to stay out of foul trouble. Now, a worthy note here is Sturtz did finish with 3 personal fouls, but 2 of those were on the offensive end, the offensive variety, pushing off. So
that second one upset me. Enright was all over him, but if you extend that arm, it's going to get called every time.
I was going to say it's an offensive foul, but my point is that to me, that's not an indication of that's not a reason for me to panic about Sturtz being in foul trouble.
And he's guarding their best player.
Yeah, during he was, and then he during the stretch of this game, obviously Connerway ended up kind of being the go-to guy, but yes, 1 personal foul on the defensive end for Sturtz tonight's a huge W.
It was late in the second half too, or midway through the second half. I think he picked up that 3rd one.
Yep.
No, yeah, I think I said that after the Purdue game. It's going to be a different guy every night. That second leading scorer, even first. You know what I mean? It's going to be Banks. It might be Combs, Alvaro, if he finally puts it together. I mean, he reminds me of not like how they play, but Joe Toussaint. He's sped up in his head.
Yeah, I mean, I think Alvaro's biggest issue mentally right now is just I don't think it's hard because Ben McCollum, he's not like Fran and giving guys ridiculous amount of leash. And I can see this both ways because with Fran, he was so offensively oriented. You could make mistake after mistake after mistake on the defensive end, and Fran's not going to yank you. With Ben, if you make a mistake on the defensive end, you might get pulled. So, like, I understand coaches that allow their guys to play through mistakes, but that's why Brendan Hasen's not playing. I mean, I think it's fair to surmise that. So Alvaro, like, he got pulled in that first half, sat a long time. He's not a great defender. He's coming into a place where he's being asked to do something he has not ever been asked to do before.
What did he have? 13 minutes today, Alvaro?
Alvaro finished with, 0 points in 14 minutes. 0 points, 3 personal fouls, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. So, I mean, look, that's not good enough. Nobody's going to debate that. But the fact that, again, glass half full approach, the fact that they were able to win by almost 20 with Alvaro having 0 points, Isaiah Howard playing less than 10 minutes, and Cooper Kochko's scoreless. I mean, that's crazy when you think about it.
Yeah, and Banks, I saw when he put it up, he had 26 points. I was like, you really had 26 points. It just felt like every time we answered when they closed it to 5, to 4, to 6, Sturtz would just hit a 3, and it's just like, okay, now we're back on cruise control.
Yeah. No, I thought Banks was much better finishing today. I mean, it helps when you see the ball go down on a foul in an and-one situation. He's had so many. He had one in the first half where he, clearly got halfway through and then misses a layup, and you could see the frustration on his face. But hopefully
I think he missed his first 3 layups, I think, of the game.
Yeah, he does that. But down the stretch, he didn't. He made shots. He finished on and-one opportunities, and he's making free throws. I mean, 9 of 9. You can't be much better than. You can't be any better than that.
And like you said, Cam, I think Cam's getting better and better and better. Because a week and a half ago, the flu, but even 2 weeks ago, he was getting pulled in that first 3-4 minutes, and then Alvaro would get that 10-minute run, and then Cam would come back in, and now he's kind of just riding it out the whole game. Not the whole game, but a lot of minutes for a big guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he's still not going to be a go-to big guy. I mean, they still need offense from Alvaro, but you're right. Like, he doesn't make mistakes on the defensive end. He finishes around the rim. Yeah, he's the best case scenario for having a 6'9" guy that doesn't have a 3-point shot. Like, you would almost think that automatically spells problems for a program, but with the way Ben McCollum coaches, the way they run their offense, they can win this way. I mean, they're going to deal with size. They didn't deal with tremendous size from Indiana today, and that's a big factor here, right? They dealt with that against Purdue, but they dealt with it okay against Purdue.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's lots of positive things to take here, and I still think we're going to see better days out of Cooper Koch. You're going to see better days out of Isaiah Howard, and I would think you're still going to see much better days out of Alvaro.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, you hope at least.
Yeah, he'll get it figured out. I mean, whether it be, he's not going to probably be a 15 point a game scorer down the stretch in February and March here, but can he give you 8 to 10 points every game? I think that's all you really need from Alvaro, and for
2 threes, space the floor.
Yeah, and for him to not be space the floor a little bit, for him to not be a liability on the defensive end.
Yeah, he just goes in spurts. Some games he's good defensively, and then the others it's just like you're pulling your hair.
He struggles with speed. Like I say, he struggles with lateral quickness. He's got good forgiveness because of his length.
Yep.
But he's not a great athlete, period. His length, guys like that. I mean, I look at a guy like maybe it's a bad example, like Chet Holmgren. Like, Chet Holmgren's a really good athlete. However, the dude is like a spider. I mean, with his length. So length can help you overcome a comedy of errors. And so Alvaro can be okay defensively. He just got to know a couple of times he kind of got stuck in no man's land on screens. You either got to commit or you got to drop down, and he got punished for that. So those are things on tape. They're going to be obvious, but just good to get a win in spite of, there's still room for improvement there.
And everybody wants that 7'2" center. Ideally, I think Ben wants a guy like Cam, probably not 6'9", but 6'11", 6'10", that's versatile, that can go guard and switch and guard a guard and get a stop.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I don't know where Trevin Urach fits into all this moving forward, because I just don't know that he fits what Ben McCollum traditionally would ask for. I mean, I don't know how all that recruiting process went down with Urach out of high school, but he was committed to Ben Jacobson in Northern Iowa. He was not committed to Drake, and it felt like kind of a late addition just to give them some size. But hey, maybe he can somehow increase quickness and his feet get a little bit better. But yeah, I agree with you. They're going to need to go to the portal once Manuel. I mean, they're going to need to go to the portal regardless to help it at the big spot. And if you can get a 7-footer who can stretch the floor, you can get a Frank Kaminsky. You're going to take him, obviously. But I agree with you.
Those ones are just $3 million nowadays.
Right. Well, and there's not many Frank Kaminskys walking around now, so.
I think the number that was thrown around for that Duke Brennan that we were going after, that I thought we would have a good chance with.
Yeah, what is he doing? Where is he at now?
He's at Villanova. I think he wanted like $2.5 million, I think. $2 to $2.5 million.
I'm just curious what Duke Brennan's doing. He's averaging 12 and 11. So yeah I mean, you wouldn't mind that, right? I mean,
my theory is, though, with the lack of size, for Cam, for instance, if you can rebound, you can rebound as 6'9", 6'6", 6'8". Yeah, you're going to run into a 7'4" guy like Purdue, and you're going to give up probably a little more offensive rebounds, but you don't play a 7'4" guy every single night.
Yeah. No, I mean, they'll the difference is you're okay with a 6'9" guy usually if he can spread the floor and shoot, and Cam Manuel does not do that.
And they said that was the whole talking point of Cam this offseason was, he has a 3-point jumper, and I don't think he's ever even.
We've never even seen a glimpse of that. No.
And they said that the same about Banks, and he's our second. I don't know what he's shooting from 3 right now, but he's got to be top 4.
Yeah, his percentage, he's very efficient. He doesn't take many. When he does, he does knock them down. And I just think it's incredibly assuring to see him make 9 straight free throws tonight, because he had a stretch there early in the year where I kind of grimaced when he was at the line.
Yeah.
I mean, the numbers have still been okay, But boy, 9-9. That's a good sign. And same with Bennett, because like I say, there was a stretch there where Bennett was missing free throws, and so yeah, just all around positive at the line.
Bennett got the Braden Smith whistle finally, I think, too, of the All-American type guard, where he was getting to the lane.
He was getting to the lane a little bit. The comparison. The comparison wasn't made on the air, but people know I always relate everything to Dallas. And back when I watched Luka Doncic every game, his ability to control pace, get to his spots, get up in his motion, create contact, draw fouls. That's what we saw in the first half from Bennett Sturts. Like the difference between, just from a stylistic perspective, the difference between Luka Doncic and Bennett Sturts is, well, Luka Doncic has probably 4 inches on Bennett Sturts. Luka Doncic is an elite ball handler and an elite passer. And I don't know that Bennett is that to that extent, but they both have the same step back shot. I wouldn't be surprised if Bennett's watched a lot of Luka Doncic and emulated some of his game after him. Like that first half, to me, I've seen Luka Doncic control offenses, or I should say opposing defenses, time and time and time again, the way Sturts did Indiana tonight. So
he's getting to the lane more tonight, which I think that's what he needs to
do. And drawing fouls.
Yes.
Getting in motion and drawing fouls at his spot.
Some of that factor the last couple games was probably the Twin Towers of Illinois and then Purdue, but the 3 games that he played bad, it was just step back after step back or a contested 3. It felt like. It probably wasn't, but
he wasn't settling tonight, 100%.
No.
Yep.
And we kind of fed him the ball there in that one stretch, but he was hot tonight.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, Jace, thanks for calling in, sir. Always enjoy hearing from you.
Yep, I'll hop off. Thank you, Corey.
Yep, thank you, sir. We got to get Jason. We got to get Jason our Discord. All right, let's go to our next caller. We've got Ryan here. Ryan, welcome to the postgame. Sure, as always, sir. How are you,
Corey? How are you? First, before I get into the game, I just want to wish thoughts and prayers for both you and Doug in Ames with the flooding issues going on there.
What flooding?
Oh, well, all the clown tears with Ames College losing, despite their paid referees and getting 27 free throws to 12 to Cincinnati. I'm sure you guys are going to be flooding your basements pretty soon here.
Wow,
so
they did.
I hope everything works out for you.
I didn't realize they lost. I saw that they were tied when Fox brought it up, but yeah, that's 2 straight losses for the men, and 4 straight losses for the women. I'm serious. I mean, 4 straight losses for I mean, I think both teams will be okay,
it's like the Ames College people are very much in tune to what happens in December or September, depending on the game, but March is what matters. And
they'd say the same thing about Iowa. They'd say the same thing about Iowa. So please don't, besides the women's team, they would say the same thing about Iowa men's basketball. Iowa hasn't made a Sweet 16 since 99, Ryan. You know that. Okay.
Yeah, I'm like an older guy now, and I graduated in 98, December of 98. During the halfway through that team, I was working for the first couple months of my career when we beat Arkansas to make it there. Yeah, but you know what? We're Hawkeyes and they're not. Works for me. As far as today goes, and also you'll never catch me wearing ketchup and mustard. But as far as today goes, fantastic effort in a very hostile environment. Funny little thing. Yesterday, my longtime Hoosier friend texted me. Of course, he was telling me how he's going to be and watching the Miami National Championship and everything, but he said we would win by a lot today. that Indiana's too soft. And we got the better coach out of the two, which all along I agreed with that.
Yep.
And I said, well, I'd trade today's win for, your position in football. But I said, just like Penn State, I like our chances beating a football school on the basketball court, which kind of felt kind of weird saying to an Indiana fan, but it's kind of becoming true.
Yeah, I don't think Indiana. There's no reason to feel sorry for Indiana fans, and I did this brought up during the game today as well at my place. Just thinking about, the whole DeVries McCollum hire, like that process, because it was one of those two guys, right? Iowa fans wanted one of those two guys, and I know Nico Medved was maybe in the conversation as well, but in general, those two guys, I know I'm biased. Nobody cares. I think McCollum was the better choice for several.
Me too.
Reasons, for several reasons. I think part of the appeal for me with getting Darian would have been to get Tucker in there for a year, because I think is this his last year? I think it's his last year of eligibility. But then you get Sturts here with McCollum. So, no, I agree. I think Iowa hit the jackpot on that. I'd be curious to talk with Beth Getz. She would probably never reveal it, but I'd be curious to talk with Beth Getz as to which call was made first, because I'm sure she had a conversation with Darian. I could be wrong on that, but until the dotted line was signed, I would think she'd have to have had a conversation with him. But which call came first? Who was number one on her board? We may never know.
It'd be interesting if Coach Close was on this show, because I would, again, and I've said it on past shows, but Bo Ryan was a D3 legend. Ben McCollum is the GOAT of D2. And if Bo Ryan does as well as he did in the Big Ten, you got to think, this is just year number one. Just wait until things really get rolling. One thought I had during the game was, if you wind back a year ago or 10 months ago, call it March, and you're watching Drake play.
Yep.
And a question that we were all kind of wondering is, if you took this exact Drake team and put it in the Big Ten, where would they finish? Would they be an NCAA team? They probably would have been somewhere around, 11, 12 wins, maybe 10. I don't know, but they would have been an NCAA team, even with the Big Ten. And, they did what they did. They beat Missouri by 10, played hard against Texas.
Let's not totally discount the development that Isaiah Howard has had. I know he didn't play great tonight.
True. Very true.
And then all these other guys, like these guys got better. Mania got better. Banks got better in the offseason. Getting Sage in and having him as a weapon, he had a big 3.
That is the craziest thing I've seen in years, is, frankly, a Drake recruit that I was a little bit not excited about. Oh, my goodness. I'm wrong. I am so going to scream to the hilltops that I'm wrong. That guy is going to be a stud.
I agree. I think he's really good. And having Cooper, Cooper's been a big addition.
I'm a little disappointed. He's very inconsistent. I thought today, now, like you said, maybe Howard's sick. When Howard's right, he's definitely a guy who needs to be on the floor. The one thing I will say that made me very happy about today was Cam played 24 minutes. I don't think has played enough. I think he, even if he doesn't get the rebound, even if he doesn't get the score, he's still the big hoss in the paint that we're sorely lacking. And I think he's a guy you got to have on the floor. He's a pretty skilled guy. I really like him. I'm excited as heck for him next year. But right now, let's get on a run.
Yep.
And we're gonna be all right. We're gonna be all right. There's not a coach in the country I trust more than Ben, and I'll say that after, the Minnesota kind of sucked because, frankly, Minnesota just sucks. But we played well. They do.
Well,
they suck at everything.
Okay.
We own them in football. We usually own them in basketball. I would hate to be a Minnesota fan. I really would. Well, and even worse than that would be living there, as bad as it is in Illinois. So I really can't talk. But
well, Ryan, I love having you on here. We appreciate it, and we hope to get Gary back here soon once he's done gallivanting. So, I think somebody's calling you. I hear somebody calling you. Did you hear that?
No.
Oh. All right. Hey, Ryan, I love you. Take care, buddy. And we'll talk to you.
Take care.
We'll talk to you this next week. Or tomorrow. You want to call in for the women's? You're going to call in for the women's show tomorrow?
Nope. I'm watching the Bears, and I'm going to DVR the game.
All right.
Bears.
Enjoy both. Thanks, Ryan. Yeah, big game. Yeah, that's kind of sad for Bears fans, right? If you're a Bears fan and you got to choose between the Bears being in the playoffs and an Iowa women's primetime game, that's a really good matchup against Michigan State, man. It's going to be a tough one. All right. We see Hawkeye Doug is here, and we appreciate Doug for being a premium member and for being in the Discord. Speaking of Discord, Shane Bolander. Corey, how do we get the credentials to get in the Discord chat once payment is made? Okay, so here's the deal. I have had this brought up to me, I want to say at least half dozen times in the last week. I will double check on Shane's, but I have been asked this a number of times, and almost every time someone asks that, the email is in spam. So they get an email and it ends up going to spam. I will double check on yours, Shane. I think Shane is in our queue, so we'll get him in here in a second as well. But if you donate to Discord, feel free to reach out to me if you don't get the email. But first, check your spam. Maybe he's already done that. But check your spam because your invite link is usually there. I don't know why it ends up going to spam. Maybe because there's a link in there and there's never been correspondence in the past. So we will check on that. We'll follow up on it. Toxic Kid is here. Go Hawks. Great day to be a Hawk. Absolutely. Let's get rid of the bot. I see it, but we don't get bots here very often. Let's get rid of the bot in the chat. Hawkeyes 2133. What do you guys think about the future with Sturtz, Banks, Hazen, and a possibility of Fulgaris leaving for the pros? Well, Hazen doesn't play. Unfortunately, Fulgaris, why would he leave? I mean, why? Unless he just goes off in February and March, why would he leave? His draft stock has not gone up. If anything, his draft stock has gone down. I cannot imagine that it hasn't. He's got to prove that he can play against more physical defenders, longer defenders, be more consistent on the offensive end. His numbers, I'm guessing, are almost all down. So I just can't imagine that he would not return. And I would think that there's enough, especially with what McCollum has built so far in year one, that he's going to be able to increase NIL support and that there will be financial incentive for Fulgaris to return as well. But yeah, Sturtz and Banks leaving will be a hit, but I'm not concerned about it. And he's going to work the portal the way he works the portal. And I think he's going to be able to recruit here. And, people listen to me. I'm very speculative about coaches, right? And new people and even, recruits that everybody's excited about. I'm like, well, take it with a grain of salt. I'm pretty bullish on this. I've been saying this since day one. I'm pretty high on Ben McCollum's the future here in almost every regard. I think the only concern I've had is his ability to, as far as I don't think you question him as a competitor, but there's clearly a difference between winning at the D2 level at Drake and the Big Ten. But I think most of what he does, the way he coaches, translates over. So there's always going to be some question until you see it, until you see him bring in athletes that are going to help him to win. But you got to have the Jimmies and Joes, right? And it's not just about the X's and O's. So I think he will be able to recruit. He's got to prove it. But I'm not too concerned about next season. I think we got a chance to to make some noise this year and maybe, be the first Sweet 16 team since '99. I mean, I'm pretty confident they're going to make the tournament, so why not? But good question. We'll continue to talk about it. All right, let's go back to our phone line. We've got Shane with us. Shane.
Hey.
Welcome. Did you check your spam?
I was in the middle of doing that now. Do you know, would it come for something like from the Hawkeye of the Storm, or what email?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, let's just simplify it. I'm not going to go through all my emails. What I'll do right now as we're talking, because I also got an email from Peyton Parker. Same thing. Peyton just said, hey, where's my Discord link? Peyton, I sent it to you 3 days ago. I don't know when I sent it to you, Shane. Maybe we missed yours. But let me send it to you right now.
Okay.
I'm assuming you dropped your email in with the contribution. Am I correct?
Oh, now I just put Discord in the chat. I didn't put my email in with it.
Okay. Now, this is what I'll explain this to people as well. This is not your fault, but I just want to clarify something. Let me look up. Was your donation on Cash App?
Cash App Wednesday. Yep.
All right. So here's the deal. This is not your fault. What we've had to do with Cash App, unfortunately, of the three major payment platforms, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Cash App is the only one where we're not allowed to get any of your contact information. We can't see your email. I can't chat with you. So what we've had to do in the past is basically make a $1 request back to you for you to leave another note with your email. So if you're donating on Cash App, please make sure you label it Discord. And if you can, please put your email address in the description. So Shane, shoot me an email. I'll throw my email up across the bottom of your screen. So I have your email. We'll add you to the list, the database, and you'll get your link today.
All right.
That's exactly what it was. So thanks for reaching out about that.
Yeah, no problem. So today, at least from the Big Ten season perspective, this is the first game that I can honestly say that I was very pleased watching a game from front to back. And an extra asterisk on there for it being on the road. I mean, Big Ten, we've all known that it really isn't an easy road game usually. Indiana made a couple of runs on them. Looked like they had the house rocking, and then a timely three or a dunk or something to stem the tide always occurred. So that was good to see. And now we get into that 6-game stretch where realistically, if they don't go at least 5-1, I would be a little bit shocked with Rutgers, Maryland, Oregon really isn't much. Now USC, by looking at their schedule, I don't know what that 14-3 record that they have. I'm not really sure what to make of that. I looked at who they played, and I mean, they did beat Minnesota by a point on the road. So I guess I'll give them a little bit of credit, but they get beat up on by Wisconsin 3 days before they hit Carver. So hopefully that, weakens them up a little bit.
Real quick. They did have that win at Minnesota. It was part of a 3-game swing, but they also got absolutely obliterated. They lost to Michigan and Michigan State back-to-back on the road by a combined 59 points. So they have not been great away from home, with the exception being what you just brought up. They have road wins against Oregon. They got a road win against San Diego, and they have the road win against Minnesota. So you're right, at Wisconsin, at Iowa in that road trip. And I don't know, the 28th, I guess, do the math, that's midweek. So Iowa will get them at 6 p.m. midweek, but I would give Iowa a good chance to win that one. Sure.
Yeah, so, I'd love to 6-0, and I think that's definitely in the wheelhouse to run off 6 straight. And then you got Purdue waiting for some home cooking in Carver this time, and, a couple of games against Nebraska. So there is still a couple of late season statement games that I think could help a lot, because it seems like the committee, when it comes time for March, especially, they only seem to remember February. Not really what happens in December and January too much. Would you agree with that?
It seemed, well, I mean, some of the different, like the net and these different points of criteria that the committee weighs, those are not influenced by recency bias. But if you're talking about a signature win, yes, I would rather a signature win be in late February or early March. The only time I don't want a signature win is on Sunday of the Big Ten tournament, because it seems like they just totally ignore that. It just seems like that to me. So, yes, I would agree. The good news is Iowa has not had any bad – at Minnesota's not a bad loss. I think it's right now quad 2 I could be wrong on that. We'll ask Tony when he hops on here in a little bit. So that's not great. But they did a lot of quad one games close, but this was by far their best win to date. And I mean, let's not overlook that trip out west. I mean, we know what happened. I know it's a totally different program. USC, UCLA last year with all the fires. You go to California, you give up like 200 plus points in those two games. But still, those trips at Oregon, at Washington, I mean, could they go 6-0 over the next 6? Sure. Could they also go 4-2 or 3-3? Yes. Because
what would you consider a disastrous result then? 500?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Rutgers, they ought to beat them with flying colors at home. They ought to beat USC at home. So that's 2-0 right there. And then, Oregon, Washington, say you lose both of those, you get Northwestern at home at Maryland. If they go, I think 2-4 is a disaster. 3-3 is a disappointment. I'm happy with 4-2. I'm thrilled with 5-1 or 6-0. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that's good. And the last thing I got for you is kind of a fun hypothetical. Sitting there watching Nebraska season, TCU and Creighton. So some of our former players, Owen and Josh and Peyton and Brock. If we had an opportunity to go back in time and say we could convince just one of those guys to stay at Iowa, which one do you think would be the most complementary piece that would actually be the most helpful for this current roster? I've got an idea, but I want to hear what you would say first.
I just think it's Price.
Yeah.
I just think it's Price with his 3-point shot. I don't think he's a very good defender. I don't care what people say. I got into somebody on Twitter the other day about some number that he wanted to bring up that proves he's a good defender. I mean, I've asked Gary Close's commented. He's not a good defender. He never will be a good defender. Now, can he be a decent enough defender to be a 3-and-D guy in the league? Watch a lot of Duncan Robinson tape because that's what he is. Probably got to get stronger to do that. But no, I just think his ability to shoot threes, stretch the floor, he gives you length, he gives you rebounding. Numbers wise, he's by far the best player that they lost. And then, after that, it'd be Josh. Yeah, Josh Dix. I mean, and after that, I don't know that I do want any of those. Like I don't think Brock Harding fits this system at all. I have no interest in having Brock Harding on this team. Never did.
Yeah.
With all due respect to Brock Harding, Laji Dembele, I don't even know what he's doing. Is he even playing in the UNLV? Is he hurt?
I didn't even see. Do you even know what happened to Owen? He didn't log a single minute in the game against Providence.
I tweeted that out yesterday. That's been a sad disaster of it. But you know what? He got paid to go there.
Yeah,
he's making money. But no, I mean, I would Josh and Price, and I would have flipped those if you had asked me right after last season. Like, who would you want back? I'd have said Josh, then Price. But no, I'd probably say Price first. He has stepped up his game. Still think Josh Dix is a better defender. I just don't know. Josh Dix seems to be I haven't watched a ton of Creighton basketball. I know in his last year at Iowa, it appeared that he worked better with the ball in his hands a lot. And so I just don't know what it would look like with Bennett, because Bennett needs the ball in his hands a lot. I mean, they move the ball really well, but he's still a ball dominant guard. So I think watching Bennett Sturtz having another long, I mean, to have Price, Sanford, Cooper, Koch, Tate, Sage, all be able to spread the floor, hit threes, plus Banks, plus you bring in Hazen in moments, then all of a sudden you become really dangerous from behind the arc. So
yeah, I agree.
Who would you pick?
No, Peyton. But I was like you at first. I liked the length and everything that Dix had, and then I thought he had a better, what I would call, ball handling game on the perimeter. Not that he can drive to the hoop much, but it seemed like that he was more able to create some contact, where Peyton didn't seem to want to do any of that. A catch and shoot guy more for Peyton.
You talking about Price? You mean
Price? I mean, yeah, exactly. And then while I'm watching him play a lot of Nebraska games this year, because I just had a hard time swallowing that Nebraska just might be pretty good this year. I don't want to admit that. Like, every ounce of my being wants to just disbelieve what my eyes are seeing, but I can't fault that record right now. So, and Price is lighting it up. I mean, absolutely. Whatever they're doing, whatever he's grown and matured, but he's stroking the ball right now.
He is, and look at Alvaro Folgaris. I mean, now he struggled at times defensively tonight, but there are other times where he looks fine on defense. put Price or even his older brother Peyton in Ben McCollum's system, and I'm not saying those guys are going to be elite defenders. Nebraska's a lot better defensively than they have been. But if you go back and watch, I remember Fred Hoiberg at Iowa State coaching. Those were never good defensive teams. Those teams, you just try to outscore people, which is what Fran did. So I wonder if you put Price in Ben's system, how much better could he get? I mean, there's certain physical limitations that are just there, but it's like putting a Josh Gosser or a Frank Kaminsky in Bo Ryan, Gary Close's system. Those guys were decent defenders because they were working with great defensive minds and a great system. So I think Price, yeah, I mean, he would be a weapon in this offense without question. And he'd at least, I think, be able to become not a liability. I'm very surprised that Brendan Hazen, that one, I keep coming back to it. I'm very surprised that with his 3-point shooting, they have not gotten him to a point, assuming that it is just he's not good enough on the defensive end. I'm surprised they haven't been able to get him to a point where he's at least not a liability.
Or the fact that he didn't get any playing time when Iowa was blowing these lesser teams out. Like, he wasn't even getting time then.
Yeah, I mean, and what's kind of strange is he came in that Minnesota game, played really well, and we haven't seen him since.
Yeah.
It is a little odd. It's a little odd. But I'll say this. I don't think Ben McCollum gives two bits about what a guy did at his previous school. I don't think he could care less. It means absolutely nothing to him. You've got Brendan Hazen riding the bench. Meanwhile, this nobody freshman, Tate Sage, who had basically no other major offers. He had like a Tulsa offer, had a Drake offer, maybe Missouri State. Now he's coming in and giving them double-digit minutes each night. So I don't think Ben cares about all that. The good news is it seems like Hazen has kept his head up. Seems like he's a great teammate. So maybe, just maybe, at some point, something will click and he'll turn into a weapon because they need great guard play, but they also need shooting come March.
They do. All right, Corey, appreciate the time.
Yep, shoot me an email so I have yours.
Will do.
Right, sounds good. DC Hawkeye with the super chat. Thank you, DC Hawkeye. Beth said that Ben was his clear-cut first choice in an interview with Chadwell at the bowl game against Vandy. There you go. I don't listen to other podcasts, so whenever that information is fed on a different show, this is the only way I get it. So thank you for that. Appreciate the donation. Heavy Hand says Ben is a great coach, and David Morris. Thank you for being a premium member, David. Great win, Bennett and Tavion. Is it's all. I don't know what the typo meant there, but yep, they are 4-5 now. Or excuse me, they are 3-4 in Big Ten conference play. 4-5 in a roof now. What does that mean? 4-5 in a roof now. Okay. Well, I don't know what that means, but I'll try to figure it out. The comment here from Hawkeyes 2133, he was asking about how to get into Discord, how much it costs. If you're wanting to pay for 12 months for 1 year, it's $50. You'll get a discount for paying for the entire year. There's no taxes, no fees. Simply drop a donation, PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App. Label your donation Discord. If you're paying by way of Cash App, please also include your email address because we have no other way to get you your link. So again, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, $5 for a month, $50 for the next calendar year. All right, let's go to our next caller. We've got Randy with us. Randy, welcome to the show.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good. How are you, Randy? Where you at?
I am sitting in a big room trying to sell some of my artwork, but it's been a very slow day.
Where are you at? What big room?
It's called Big Mama's.
You're at Big Mama's right now?
Yeah, it's a place where they sell different things. You can set up a booth and sell things. I've got my artwork, and it's been a very slow day.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Well, shout out. What town are you in?
Des Moines.
All right. Oh, there you go, folks. Head over to Big Mama's. I've never.
Yeah, it's got an hour left.
Is this Big Mama's Bistro?
No, it's just like a big building where people can rent out space to do different things, and they have auctions here, I guess, and stuff like that. And
gotcha. Were you able to watch the game?
Yeah, I watched it on my phone.
Okay.
While I was sitting there, yeah. I thought Tavion Banks and Bennett Sturts looked good. I thought it was funny at one point toward the end of the game they turned around and said that those two combined for 53 and Indiana had 52. That's ball game.
Well, I'll say this. I mean, it is typically you want. I'll go ahead and throw up since you brought it up. Let me go ahead and throw up the official box score here because typically you want maybe a little bit better balance offensively. But let's go ahead and I'll share my screen hopefully for people. This is the final box score from Bloomington. So let me go ahead and make this full screen just so that we're not leaving anybody that is hard of seeing, and we'll get rid of these banners as well. Okay, so here's this is the full Iowa box score. We mentioned the leading scorers for the Hawks, one being Bennett Sturts, the other being Tavion Banks. 26 for Banks, 27 for Sturts. Of course, Banks also added 8 rebounds. Sturts with 5 assists and 3 rebounds. And you see nobody else for Iowa in double figures. Nobody even close. The closest would have been Sage with 7 on 2 shot attempts. 2 of 2 from the field, 1 of 1 from 3, and 2 of 2 from the line. You see Cam Manuel with 6. He was perfect from the field, 3 of 3, very efficient. Cooper Koch finished scoreless. Alvaro Fulgaris finished scoreless. And then nothing from several guys that came in late. Isaiah Howard had 3. Cale Combs had 5. So, yeah, I mean, not real balance there, but I guess that just proves you can win in different ways. The team shot 50% from the field. I would have never imagined that Banks would he and Sturts would be the only guys in double figures, and they would just blow Indiana away. But that's sort of what happened tonight.
Yeah, it was fun to watch. A lot funner than watching the last few games where they just. I mean, you got Sturts getting in foul trouble almost every Big Ten game except for today. It seems like he just is having a hard time adjusting to Big Ten play a little bit, maybe, and the physicality of it.
Yeah, he only had one defensive foul tonight. So that's a huge step in the right direction, especially away from home. He had the 2 fouls that were on the offensive side, but just 1 defensive foul. So I agree with you. Hopefully this was turning the corner for him because, yeah, he can't be in foul trouble if this team wants to win down the stretch.
And then I know you brought it up already, Brendan Hazen. It's like the enigma of the season. What is going on with why he is not playing? I mean, he obviously is a good shooter, but good shooters need reps, and he's not getting enough time in to have reps to get in the flow.
It is odd. I mean, it's baffling to some extent. I mean, it doesn't seem like when he's in the game that he's some horrific defender, but again, the only thing I can point to is Alvaro is maybe marginally better defensively, and Alvaro gives them length. Like, they're obviously not playing the same position. I'm just saying, why would one transfer who's not great on defense play and the other one does not? Alvaro gives them length, which they desperately need, especially a length that can score. And that's the only thing I can touch. I don't know how effective Brendan is anywhere else offensively besides the 3-point line. And they don't it'll be interesting to see, do they recruit just 3-point shooters? Like Fran did that, right? I mean, Brendan Hazen would be a perfect Fran guy.
That's what I was just thinking that before I got on here, is that Fran would have loved him.
Oh, yeah. He'd play Urok a lot. Urok would be playing. And he'd be giving up. He'd be scoring 10 to 15 a game, and he'd be giving up 25 a game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the reality of it. The guys, but will Ben McCollum recruit the Brady Ellingsons of the world? Will he recruit the Josh Oglesbys? Will he recruit the Brendan Hazens in general? I mean, he did this year, right? In year 1, he's not playing.
Yeah.
So that will be interesting to follow.
Yeah, it will be. Can I put in one plug real quick?
Sure, go ahead.
Next week I'll have Bennett Sturts prints available, and there's only going to be 20 of them.
There you go. Limited
So
edition.
keep an eye on my site.
Good deal. Randy, appreciate it. Best of wishes today.
All right.
We'll hopefully talk about
All
another
right.
win here coming up soon.
All right, you too. Thanks, Corey.
All right, Heavy Hands is back with comment here in the chat. This team is better than their record. We have a couple extra wins with normal officiating. Okay, well, that's a common narrative. I'm not going to disagree that I think officiating has been a story. I do think Iowa has to take some ownership there. Doug says 5-1 is his prediction for the next 6. Again, I'll take that any day of the week. Amanda, don't forget to hit the like button to support the show. Thank you, Amanda. Yes, please hit that like button, folks. If you're here, part of the reason why you're here is because of our great sponsors. And Big Grove's big play of the day today was late in that first half. Cam Manuel with a big block, which turned into a Tavion Banks fast break layup. And again, just seeing Tavion finish around the rim, really positive. That put Iowa up by 10 late in the first. They had a 10-point lead at halftime. Again, Big Grove's big play of the day, the Manuel block to Tavion Banks with the fast break layup. Also, a quick plug for Big Grove Brewery, because I'm sure there are plenty of Hawk fans over in Iowa City watching the game today, and they're, or whatever local Big Grove you're closest to on the big screen. They have so many big TVs in there for game watching. They're the official watch party headquarters of the Hawkeyes. Visit biggrove.com to learn about their many locations across the state of Iowa. Des Moines, Iowa City, Solon, Cedar Rapids, now open in Omaha, Nebraska as well, and Kansas City soon to come. Biggrove.com to check out the menu. And their Easy Eddie is a fan favorite, a favorite of mine. I got some in the fridge. I actually cracked open a Royal Eddie yesterday. I've mentioned that beer. It's a, what do they call that? A Royal IPA or a Imperial IPA. I believe that's the terminology. So if you like a hoppy beer, try the Royal Eddie, or kick back with an easy one, an Easy Eddie, their neighborhood beer, their citrus surfer. It's all delicious. Big Grove Brewery across the state of Iowa. All right, we'll go back to our phone line. We got Doug here. Doug, welcome.
Welcome. That was good. I thought that was one of the best, maybe their best defensive game other than defending number 6 they've had all year. That was Indiana's only offense, was that dude.
Well, that's gonna keep Ben McCollum up at night, because there were way too many straight line drives. They did not execute. I'd love to have been at the press conference today, because they did not execute against him defensively until he got hurt. So that's got to be adjusted. But Isaiah Howard's got to be dinged up, because he's their best on ball defender, and he played 9 minutes tonight.
Well, and I don't know who should guard that guy. I don't know quite his skill set or anything. I don't scout Indiana. I knew of Tucker. And I knew of the Enright kid because we were involved in the transfer portal for him last year. He's a DePaul transfer, and we were in the,
I'm okay with them not getting him. He did not impress me tonight.
Well, I'm okay with our rotation period. Our team is our team, and we can, wish for Price and Josh. They're gone. This is our team. And I I'd love to have Price or Josh, but this is our team, and they played amazing today.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got a special guest coming on here in just a second, so I'm going to pull you into the queue for just a second, Doug.
Okay.
And right back in here. So we're talking about Iowa's victory in Bloomington, 74-57 over the Indiana Hoosiers. We want to welcome in the guy who prioritizes sunshine, green grass, and a little white ball over his Hawkeyes. I'm starting to question everything in life, Gary.
Well, you've got a legitimate reason to.
Okay. Well, thank you for showing up here.
If it wasn't going to be pouring rain tomorrow, I probably would have stayed in and watched the game, but it was just my brother's down, so it's just too good an opportunity to pass up. But I am thrilled with the resounding butt kicking that Iowa did to Indiana.
Well, I won't ask you any specifics since you haven't watched the game yet, but are you surprised by how dominant? I mean, we look at the final score, and I think you look at the box score, it is even more surprising that they had nobody else in double figures besides Banks and Sturtz, and you blow them out of the gym.
Yeah, they obviously must have played terrific defense with the numbers that Indiana put up, and that's how you win on the road. You play solid defense, you take care of the ball, and and they obviously shot well. It's got to be a confidence booster. That's not an easy place to play. Indiana might be a little bit down, but there'll be some teams that'll lose there. And for them to go in there, coming off 3 tough losses to some good teams, that's impressive. That's a really good win.
And both these teams needed this win. This is the 3rd straight loss for Indiana as well. Indiana's got a bear of a schedule coming up. 2 of their next 3 games are against top 5 teams. Iowa, on the other hand, moves into a pretty favorable stretch. But before I ask you about those next 6 on the schedule, Gary, this is an Iowa team that you would expect things to start defensively. You mentioned the defense tonight. They seem to finally, and I don't know that this is turning the corner, if it's just, it's a one-off, but Bennett Sturtz has been writhed with foul issues, and I don't think any of us expected that. I've not asked you the question just because we haven't been together a lot over the last 2 weeks, but are you surprised that he has dealt with so many early 2-foul issues in Big Ten play to start his career here? I mean, it's his final year, but it's his first year in the Big Ten. And what would you attribute that to?
Yeah, that's a good question. I haven't seen him play a lot. I'm guessing, because he's so important to their success that, that's one thing that teams are going to try to do to, attack him as much as they can and, take charges wherever they can and things like that to try to get him into foul trouble because he's so important. So, he's a smart player. I think, as the season goes on, he'll get better at that. I think watching tape will help. How's he drawing these fouls? What can he do? Is it positioning? Is he reaching? Things like that a smart player can pick up and figure out. And so I don't think it'll be a long-term problem, but he's got to figure it out because it won't stop. I mean, obviously he's a key part of their success, and teams are going to continue to attack him.
Yeah, just for clarity, for context, I brought this up earlier on the show, Gary, but he finished with 3 personal fouls. 2 of those were push-offs on the offensive end. So I would say that's a good sign, just 1 personal foul on the defensive end. And Tavion Banks, you and I have talked about his, he struggles to score at the rim, which is odd because he's a really good athlete. He's maybe the best runner on the team. But he was 8 of 12 today, finished at the rim. And how about this? 9 of 9 from the foul line. In fact, Sturtz and Banks combined were 19 of 20 from the charity stripe. And you add in 8 rebounds for Banks. I don't want to overreact to one game, but has Iowa potentially found their second leading scorer?
Maybe. And when I saw the amount of free throws he took, that tells you he's taking it to contact, and you're physical. That's how you draw fouls, taking it to the hoop, and maybe he's getting himself a little bit more under control. It looks easier than it is. And so, your ability to slow down, your ability to get angles, your ability to use shot fakes, that comes with time. It's not something that just happens overnight. Boy, once you figure it out, it gives you a world of confidence. And with him making all those free throws, I think it'll make him even more aggressive because a lot of times inside players that are not good free throw shooters, then they don't want to draw fouls. And they tend to fade away and shoot flipping shots and not go to contact because they don't want to go to the free throw line and miss free throws. So the fact that he shot a high percentage and the fact that he got to the free line and made them, those are all really good signs.
Iowa winning in spite of no points from Cooper Koch, no points from Alvaro Folgueras, just 3 points for Howard and 5 points for Combs, and they win by 17 in Bloomington. So, Gary, thanks for calling in. We'll get you back on the show at some point.
Yeah, I'll look forward to it. But I was excited to see the score. When you go through a losing streak like that, you got to break it, and to go on the road and do it, I'm sure it was happy playing right back. They showed improvement, and now they got a chance with this part of the schedule coming up. They can get on the roll a little bit.
So we don't do this often, but here's a little exercise for you. I'm going to name their next 6. You tell me what their record should be over the next 6. They get Rutgers. Right. They get Rutgers at home, USC at home.
Win.
Okay.
Win.
At Oregon.
Win.
At Washington.
That'll be a tough one, but I'm going to say a win.
Okay. And then home Northwestern.
Win.
At Maryland.
They may go 6-0.
Okay.
You heard it here first.
But and if we
so that'll put him at 9-4.
Let's see. Yeah, that'd put him at 9-4.
Yeah, that'll put him in a really good spot.
They'd be in a really good spot. Then you have to, then you have a difficult stretch there. Purdue at home, Nebraska at home, at Wisconsin. But 9-4, and these are the ebbs and flows of Big Ten Conference play, right? You're going to have these in the schedule.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, yeah. You got to take advantage of the so-called softer part of your schedule when you're home games, and maybe you can get a couple upsets and be in the hunt.
But just huge to be able to get this win today.
Oh,
and get off the schneid before you head into that favorable stretch.
Yeah, no doubt. The road wins are terrific. I don't care who you're playing. You saw Michigan barely beat Penn State at Penn State. Somebody went out to the West Coast and lost a game. Maybe it was Illinois. So you're gonna see some teams lose on the road. So Indiana's a tough place to play, and not only they won, but they won convincingly. So it's got to be a big conference booster.
Iowa led from start to finish on their way to a 17-point.
Maybe they ended up with the right coach, huh?
Yeah. That's obviously a hot topic today.
I'll bet.
Based on one game, one matchup, I'd say you're right. So,
yep.
Coach Gary Close.
Congratulations. It's a great win.
From the greens of South Carolina.
Yeah. Gary. Actually, I'm overlooking the Atlantic Ocean right now. The sun's going down.
Well,
I'm having a little green tea, because it's healthy. And I'm going to watch a little football.
Well, don't jump in. And I'm sorry about your Eagles.
No. Oh gosh, don't even bring it up.
All right, Gary.
Bad year. All right, good to see you, Corey. Go Hawks.
Yep, go Hawks. Thank you for the call. All right, we appreciate Coach Close being with us here for a few minutes following Iowa's 74-57 victory. Let's get our caller Doug back into the show. Doug, welcome back.
I was hoping that was Coach. You weren't just like kicking me off for no. You're an idiot.
I'll do that later. Welcome back.
Okay. Sometimes I get on rants and some people want, but one thing you guys, everyone's talked about, they will be linked for a long time, is Darren and Ben, because of the Drake stuff. They got the Big Ten job the same year. It will always be, they'll be compared for a long time. And
is Medved in the same conversation?
It depends what he does. But yeah,
if they start winning at Minnesota, I mean, that's not a blue blood, so we look at it a little differently. But it will be interesting to see of the three Drake guys, and Medved's not from Iowa, right? But so there's a difference there. It will be interesting to see if they all succeed, how long they each last. Will one of them take another job?
Yes,
there's not many jobs better than Indiana.
And you'd say Medved's dream job is probably Minnesota.
Is anybody's dream job Minnesota?
He has ties to Clem Haskins and was up there as an assistant and graduate assistant. I always think people will want to stay at home, but again, how Minnesota is these days, I don't know if anyone wants to be in Minnesota. I shouldn't get political here, but it's good to see. You've been talking a lot for the last hour. I sometimes want to repeat stuff or jump in. Again, I don't want to be controversial on some of the stuff you said, because I agree with you almost a lot, Corey. But I had a question for you about Trayvon Urick, 27, player from Valley. Do you think some of the reason why we don't think he's going to develop is some of Ogundele and Riley didn't develop, or is it just
no?
It's
not a matter for me. I'm just telling you. I'm just being honest with you. This is not a rip, because he's probably a great kid, great family. For the sake of what I'm about to say, I hope none of his family is listening to this. Okay, I'm just being serious. I think he's slow. I don't think he's athletic. He's probably very skilled, but he looks like a slower, less skilled version of Luka Garza. And I just think Luka was an exception with his level of skill. With it, he was an exception because he's a ridiculously hard worker, right? Mm-hmm. And he could hit the three. And so far I don't know that Urick can hit threes. If he could hit threes, that'd be a huge step in the right direction. Mm-hmm. But in this system, I just don't know that he's a fit in this system. Now, could I see him transferring to Penn? Sure. Hey, and I hope I'm dead wrong. They need the size, right? They need the size, but I just don't know how he's going to stop anybody. But it helps being 7 foot.
Yeah. No, that was Banks' best game. We already talked about predictions. Coach was even more optimistic than I was, so that's good to hear.
He did say Washington's that's going to be a tough game,
and that was kind of the one I just a road game. I don't know what the adverse. Like I said, as long as they go up the Northwest trip and the time zone thing, I don't know if it matters as much in basketball as it does in football. And, because it's a 2-hour game, you play at nights usually. I don't think they
start at 10 p.m. Central Time that night.
But again, I think it affects football more than it affects basketball. If you had a 10 o'clock game in Seattle with Kirk, it's different. But
well, why? Why is that different? I'm just curious. You keep saying that. What?
Because football is it's a longer game, so it goes later on in the night. They don't have as many night games. It's hard. I don't know. I might be wrong.
You might just be making stuff up, right, Doug? You might just be making stuff up. Hey, by the way, I've
heard most of the stuff before.
This is not a Washington Huskies shirt. I know it's about that color, but no,
I mean like Packers green either. So I don't go.
They also could lose any of the next 6 because the Big Ten is a bear. The Big Ten's really good. Yeah. So they could, if they take care of business, yes, they could win the next 6. But they could also lose any of those. We
said this, and last time is getting a quad 3 loss at home versus Rutgers would be bad, So sure. These also, I don't think the Northwest trip would be bad losses, but a couple of the home games against you just got to protect home court. And I know winning against Purdue and Michigan will be tough. And I'm glad that the schedule fell this way, because now you do get to focus on a kind of a relaxed. I don't want to say it's like they should never relax, but it just again, it's good to have some teams that
you can relax. Is that what you're saying?
You can relax. And then I relax, and then all of a sudden they lose to USC and Oregon and Washington. I don't know, and then I'm throwing a fit or something. Right. I was really happy. I've seen a lot of positive comments in the live chat, and I'm like, oh, this makes your day so much better when they win. And now I have the weekend, and I'm not one to. My mom always told me, do not let win or lose. You do not have the Hawkeyes affect your mood.
But you just admit that you do.
I know. Why did you think she was always upset with me? And she's like,
all right.
I'd be moping about the Hawkeyes. It's a game. It's a game. I'm like, no, it's not.
She wasn't wrong, Doug. She was not wrong.
Oh, she's a smart woman, but rest in peace, Mom. I love her every day. About the tears. Hey, I actually enjoy the tears here in Ames. So I don't want anyone to think I'm very glad that they lost today. It humbles them, because when they're not humble, they say some of the dumbest comments, and I just like them to be a little humble. I don't cheer against anybody. People get mad. You should be 100% Hawk, but I also need the Hawks. I need the Cyclones to be humble, because I just do not. Everywhere I go, I hear Cyclones are great. Going to the Final Four. Good for you. I don't care.
Well, they got a ways to go to get to a Final Four, and I
tell them that. Tell them they have to go through every game and be patient too.
Yeah, they just lost against a mediocre Cincinnati team. Yeah. Now, it was on the road, but that just proves that when you're talking high level, high major basketball, you can go anywhere and lose. And we've seen Iowa State get upset in the tournament. We've seen Iowa get. We saw Iowa lose to Richmond a few years ago, and a total shocker. I mean, they were coming off a Big Ten championship, and then lose to Richmond in the first round. So
both times, the last 2 times they won the Big Ten that Northwestern game with Adam
Northwestern State.
Northwestern State.
Yeah, I'm wearing the Northwestern State colors here.
That was I was a college student crying. I'm like, what am I crying about? No, it's you just play every game. Oh, what was I mentioned?
Did you? I'm sorry. Did you cry after the Richmond game? Did you
No.
cry after that one? So is the Northwestern State the only time you've cried over a loss?
No. I've cried over
Well,
a couple.
Okay, so Northwestern State. Let's see. Can I guess the other cries? Let me just guess. Don't tell me. Let me just guess.
I don't even know if I can remember. Everyone
Northwestern
knows I
State.
think I have a good memory.
Are you a big enough football fan? Because if you're a big enough football fan, you cried over Michigan State, Iowa, 2015.
Yes, I not cry, but I was cussing up a storm because my nieces and nephew were over, and I was like, they shouldn't learn bad words from you.
Did you cry over Iowa, Ohio State 2009 football?
No, that was with the backup quarterback. I didn't have hope they were going to win that one.
Yeah, but they were in overtime.
I know. Well, let's not get when Doug got emotional. Doug gets emotional a lot. I've gotten ridiculed about my emotions many times.
Iowa, Tennessee, second round NCAA tournament. Cried?
The one with Cook, with Yarza?
Camp, Moss.
I don't think so.
Really?
I was very upset.
Overtime.
I was very, very upset. What I was also going to talk about is Tucker was like the fourth best strike player today, maybe fifth best strike player today. I mean, what, he had 6-7 points. I don't want to cheer against the guy, and we talked about how we wanted him last year, but hey, that felt pretty good that Bennett and Banks outplayed him, and he had no game. And I don't want, like I said, I don't want to cheer against the guy, but Tucker didn't look like an all Big Ten player today.
Yeah, 7 points, 2 of 9 from the field, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. That was Tucker DeVries' line.
Last question, because we talked about number 6, Conway, whatever. I always tell you people I'm bad with names. Do you think we're going to have problems with other guys like that going forward?
Well, it was good that they got exposed today. It's good they got exposed today because the timeouts didn't seem to work, and they got to execute better. And I think there's a possibility with lack of quickness on the perimeter, but I think Isaiah Howard can get healthy. I'm assuming he's still under the weather. That will help.
Do you think that's what it was?
We'll say that again.
Just that Banks was guarding him, and they were bad mismatch. That was a bad mismatch.
They kept getting stuck on mismatches, and Gary would be a better one, if he had watched this game from start to finish to be able to describe how you counteract something like that. But Ben was obviously upset with execution there, and so go back and look at the tape, but. I'm guessing that will be corrected. And sure, I mean, there's always a risk that happens with quicker guards, but they've gone up against quick guards this year and hadn't had that problem.
Yeah, you take him and you take that action and that period of the game out. We really kicked their butt defensively and did a very good job. Probably played the best, as I said earlier, probably played the best defensive job of the season. But you have to put him as a factor. And
this is an Indiana team. This is an Indiana team, by the way, Doug, that scored 113 against Penn State this year.
We played really good defense.
113. Now, Penn State's not very good, but 113 against a Big Ten team, and they scored 57 on Iowa tonight. So, all right, Doug, thanks for being here, sir. We appreciate it. All right, your Iowa Hawkeyes defeating the Indiana Hoosiers 74-57. The men head to 3-4 on the Big Ten season. Big Grove's big play of the day, Cam Manyow's block, turning into a Tavion Banks fast break layup to make it a 10-point lead with 1:13 left in the first half, And Iowa never looked back, leading from start to finish. In fact, if you look at the final stat sheet, look at the split box score. Let me see if I can see the time spent in front. Do we have that? Yes. 38 minutes leading the Hoosiers tonight on the road. 38 minutes. Indiana never had a lead. 38 minutes, 2 minutes of tie, and in the end, Iowa winning by 17, 74-57. Please hit the like button, folks. We do appreciate you. I appreciate you. Please consider joining our Discord server. $5 a month, $50 for the next calendar year. Donate with the note Discord, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, and no fees, no taxes. We'll eat that extra cost. Please do that, folks, and I'll see you back tomorrow night following Iowa-Michigan State women's hoops. We'll talk to you soon.